Welcome to another quick review from Ultimate DIY. Today we are going to take a look at the Anfier W12 AI voice translator. Now this isn't just any translator, it's a really awesome translator with a lot of really cool features. This will translate up to 144 different languages when you're in the Wi-Fi mode. When you are just walking the streets outside of Wi-Fi, it can actually translate up to 16 languages. And it not only translates the spoken word, it has a camera built onto it so that you can take pictures of street signs or anything in print and translate that over to your language as well. So in the comments, I did notice a lot of people asking, why don't you just use a cell phone? Well, there's a couple of reasons I want something like this other than just my cell phone. First of all, I work with a lot of Hispanic contractors in the construction industry, and I need to talk to them a lot. Well, when I'm doing that, my cell phone is being taken over, and I no longer get calls, I no longer get texts, everything gets out of whack. Plus, if I'm going to go to another country, I have to download an entirely new translator. Also, it's a whole different program for the picture. So this does everything all in one nice unit. So that's a really big plus. So we're going to open this up. I'm going to show it to you so that you can see what it is. I'm not going to go over a lot of stats. You can read those up above. I will tell you there are a couple of things that I'm going to answer real quick before we open it. That I did notice people asking. One of them was, is the screen bright enough? Well, the screen is extremely bright, meaning that if I'm outside in the sun and it's very bright outside, I can still read this screen with no problem at all. As a matter of fact, I think it's even a little brighter than my cell phone. Then this will be very close to the size of a cell phone. So that was one of the questions that I saw. Another one was asking, how long does it last? Does it really last 8 hours? Well, that's kind of a trick question, and it goes back to how bright it is. You can change the brightness on this just like you change the brightness on your cell phone, and that is going to affect how long the battery lasts. This also has a sleep timer on it. It's going to come from the factory at 3 minutes, but if you decide you want to go a little bit longer, it's going to also change that 8 hours. Now, if you leave it at factory, you keep that display down to about half or a little less, then yes, you're going to get a full 8 hours out of this. But if you're going to have it really, really bright and you want to keep it on all the time, not let it go to sleep, then no, it's probably not. So those were the couple of major questions that I saw. One of them was, does it work offline? Well, yes, it does. I answered that in the beginning because you've got the 16 languages that you can load onto here, and you'll load patches. So if you're going to, say, Japan, you will load the Japan patch, make sure it's up to date, and that will be the one that you use. So there's ways to do that. There's also another function on this too, by the way, that I noticed no one else was talking about. This is also a recorder. So you can record notes and things while you're out and running around, and it will save it on the unit, and then you can come back later, hook it up to your computer, and download all your notes. So it works as a voice recorder as well as a translator. And I did not even realize that when I ordered it until I got it, because no one spoke about that. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull you guys in a little closer. We're going to set it on the table and we're going to unbox it real quick. And then I'm going to fire it up and I'm going to show you some of the functions that this thing has and try to make it a little bit easier for you and kind of give you an idea whether this is something you want or something you don't want. So let's come on in and take a look. This is the way the unit comes. I'm going to be standing off to the side because it's hard to stand behind it and show you upside down. But it comes in a really nice box that is very much like a cell phone. And you're just going to pull it open, set the top aside just like that. There's the unit, and there's some other little extras inside. We're going to pull the unit out, set that aside. It's got a cover over it to keep it from getting damaged. And it has another little sleeve on it to keep the front from being damaged. You can pull that off, set it over there. And this is the actual unit, and it's made very much like a cell phone. Now I have the big iPhone, but it's still a good size unit, almost like one of the smaller cell phones. Has a volume control here, on and off here. This is where you can hook a lanyard. I'll show you that in just a second. And then down right here is where you're going to charge. This is going to be translate A button, translate B button. And the screen is also a touch screen. So that is pretty much it in a nutshell. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light. It has a little bit of weight, feels good. That's the unit. So now it takes a second for the very first time when you fire it up. Once it's fired up and goes to sleep, you'll just push this button once. But we're going to go ahead and push it. You hold it because it takes a second when it's starting up. It's going to come up with a welcome screen and it will fire up. In the meantime, let's look at what we have over here. Here is your charger. Remember, the charger is going to go in right here at the top. So we'll set that aside, and it comes with a really nice protective plastic sleeve to go over it. We're going to put that in, which I do like because if you're on a job site, if you're running around, whatever, it gets dropped, it gives it some protection and keeps it from getting all scratched up. Comes with a really nice manual. This manual has a lot of good information and it's in multiple languages. We'll put that back in there. We'll set all that over to the side. Keep this right there in the middle. Make sure you guys can see. Now, it does come with this lanyard, and I like the lanyard. You can wrap it in your hand and carry it, or you can put it around your neck, which is really great if you're traveling. And this is where you'll actually put the little lanyard in through the side. You loop it in and tie it. Now, one thing I did notice no one else was showing is this lanyard actually unclips. Has a button, push it down, and it comes off. So now this will stay with the unit. You can use it in your hand, keep this around your neck. When you get ready to put it back, all you do is push the button again, and it goes back into place. That simple. All right, guys, so you saw it fired up. Now let's go ahead and let's take a look at what it does. So it's gone to sleep. It has a 3-minute timer from the factory. You can change that, but to wake it back up, you don't hit this. Doesn't do anything. You're going to touch it here on the side. Wakes it up. Now you notice there's a lock here. Slide up, and there you go. Now I have already changed the background screen. I like the one with the little balloon. You're going to have some choices. I'll show you where that is, where you can change the background. But it will pop up on the main screen with your world clock, and you can choose these. You click them, you can choose where you want it to go and what place, and you can actually compare it to the other one. So you can do this one as well. So you can set your world clock from 2 places that you like. So if you're traveling, say in Japan, you can have the US at your home area, and you can have Japan, so you know what time it is at home, so you're not waking people up in the middle of the night calling thinking that it's daytime there and forgetting. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, the next things you want to look at, if you look down here at the bottom, we are on the home screen. We have the little home. You have 2 other buttons, means there's 3 screens. On your first screen, of course, your first one is home. Your actually second screen is going to be the most important one here, which is going to be your voice translation. You're going to hit that. And you have 2 buttons which coincide with these. So button A, button B, A, B. I have the A set to English, I have B set to Spanish. If I hit the A, I can change that. I can pick a different language. I don't want to do that. I want to keep it the way it is. I do the same thing with B. If I hit it, I can change it. I want to keep it the same. All right, we are on language mode at the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say something in English so it will translate it to someone I'm talking to that is Spanish speaking. So I would hit the A. Can you tell me how to get to the bus stop?
¿Puedes decirme cómo llegar a la parada de autobús?
There you go. So it translates it for me. Then he can come back and say something. Now, I don't know how to speak Spanish, so I'm just going to say something simple. Casa?
There.
Casa?
Home.
There we go. I must not have been very clear on that one. So casa is home, and it translates. So that's a really cool deal. Now you have dialogue. So once we do that, it switches to the dialogue button at the top. You can see that switched over from language. Now I can scroll back, and I can hit different things.
¿Dónde vive? ¿Dónde está tu casa?
So if I'm trying to have a conversation and I need to repeat something, I can find it really quick, and I can go back and read everything at a later date and make sure that I understood what was being said. All right, hit your arrow key here. You go back out. This is going to be the recorder. This is where I can make a recording and save it for later and upload it to my computer if I like, or even just listen to it on the device. So let's make a quick recording. Don't forget to get bananas at the grocery store. Hit the stop. It's asking me if I want to save it. Yes, I do. If I hit this little button over here to the side, right there, it will actually pull up my recordings, and this is number 4. Play. Don't forget to get bananas at the grocery store. Stop it, and then I can exit out. And like I said, I can hook that up through the top right into my computer, and I can transfer all of those. All right, so the recorder's a really cool function. Now this is a really neat function here, and I made a sign, a street sign. So say you're walking on the street and you have a street sign and you don't know what it means, even though we all know what that means. It's yield. But let's say we don't. We're going to hit our photo translation. There's a photo button here. We're going to hit that. I'm going to hold this up so you can see, get it in the screen, and I hit it. There we go. So it translates, and what it does is it's telling me it's yield. And you can generally hear it too. Let's see if I can get it to
Yield.
There you go. And it tells you yield. All right, so that's a really cool function. You can translate written text also with this. The last one down here is going to be settings, and you can go through and set everything from Wi-Fi, all kinds of stuff, display, things like that, your speaker. This is also, like I said earlier, if you're trying to keep your battery good, you want to keep the display brightness down, and right now we have it at 3 minutes. You can actually move that to shut off later if you want, but you're going to run down the battery. All right, so that is on screen 2, because this was 1, this is 2, here is 3. Now 3, you can set up your Bluetooth. You can do favorites. Now favorites are kind of cool. You open this up and you can actually save phrases that you use a lot, so you don't have to re-speak them every time. Kind of a neat feature. This will be your display here, so it does the same thing as what I showed you in the settings, but it's a shortcut. And then this is where you can change that wallpaper. So I can scroll through here and pick a different wallpaper. I have that one right now. That's the one I really like. And you set it just like that, and it's done. And so you have Wi-Fi, wallpaper, display, Bluetooth, and favorite. So there you go, guys. It's really a nice little system. I like it. I like the way it's made. It feels great in your hand. I like the fact I can carry it around my neck with the lanyard that they provide. I can carry it in my hand. I can put it in my pocket. I can do whatever. And I can translate without tying up my phone, so I'm not missing calls and texts and running my battery down on my phone when I'm traveling. And that's another important thing when you're traveling. You don't want to run that battery down when you're out on the streets. You may have to use this thing to navigate to get home. And if you're navigating, say to get back to a hotel or something, and you're using this, now you're having to try to translate, navigate. This simplifies it all the way around. So do yourself a favor, pick yourself up one today. I don't think you'll regret it. And we'll see you guys on the next one.